So after studying about molecules, today we shall go for ions. What are these ions? So compounds composed of metals and non-metals which contains charged particles are known as ions. A negatively charged ion is known as anion, whereas the positively charged ion is known as cation. So what are these ions? Any compound which contains either metals or non-metals or a mixture of both. Okay, any of the compound which contains metals and non-metals along with their charged particles. So charged particles are nothing but the ions. So these charged particles, any metal or non-metal, if they contains any of the charged particles, that will be considered as ions. And how to consider that? If the charged particle is negative, okay, if an element, there is a metal or non-metal, if it contains negatively charged particle, then that will be considered as an anion, and we will represent that particular element along with the symbol like this on top of this, okay, on the top of its symbol. Whereas if any element, if it contains positively charged particle or ion, that will be considered as cation, and we will represent that element by taking the symbol of that element and we will place the charge on its top with the symbol plus. Okay, so ions are nothing but, just keep in mind, ions are nothing but the charged particles, and charged particles, it will be positively charged or it may also be the negatively charged particle. But if it is the positively charged particle, then that it will be called it as cation, and if it's a negatively charged particle, then it will be called as anion. But for example, we shall see sodium chloride, common salt. That is, what is the formula for common salt? NaCl. So sodium chloride is a compound. It consists of metal also and a non-metal also. Which is a metal here? Sodium, Na. Sodium is a metal and chlorine is a non-metal. Now the mixture of this metal and non-metal together, it is called as compound. Okay. So this is a compound. What is the name of this compound? Sodium chloride. This sodium, it has a positively charged particle, whereas the chlorine, it has the negatively charged particle. So now you got to know how to write the charged particles, right? So we will write this like this: sodium chloride. Sodium has positively charged particle and chlorine has negatively charged particles. Now this charged particle, it will be a single particle, or the elements, it may contain many group of atom, and hence they will pose many of the particles also. And if an atom, it has net charged particles, that means if many atoms they combine, they will have many of the charged particles. So if there are many charged particles, then it will be called as polyatomic ion. So what is polyatomic ion? A group of atoms carrying a charge. If there are so many atoms, if they carry so many charged particles, then that will be called as polyatomic ion. Poly is nothing but many. Okay, so many atoms contains ion. So group of atoms carrying a charge is known as polyatomic ion. But further details about polyatomic ion we will see in the next chapter, that is structure of atom. Now we got to know about ions. Next we shall move on how to write the chemical formula. So to write any chemical formula of any compound, we must know certain rules. The first rule is that we must always first know the chemical symbol, the symbol of that particular elements which are present in that particular compound. For example, now this sodium chloride, it is a compound, isn't it? So sodium chloride is a compound and it consists of a metal and a non-metal. It is Na, it says sodium, whereas Cl, it's a chlorine. Now we have taken sodium chlorine. Why we have taken sodium first, then chlorine later? Why not chlorine, chlorine, sodium like that? Because there is a rule that whenever we are going to write the chemical formula of any compound, on the left side we must take the metal. Sodium, it's a metal. Okay, the metal should be always at the left side of the formula. So it should be at the left side. Metal should be left side, whereas this chlorine, this is the non-metal, and non-metal should always be on the right side. So non-metal should be on the right side. Okay students, so the first rule to write the chemical formula for any of the compound is that metal should be always at the left side, whereas the non-metal should always be in the right side, and we must take the symbols of the elements. Sodium symbol is Na and chlorine symbol is Cl. So it's the first thing that we need to keep in mind while writing any chemical formula for a given particular compound. Now, there is simple, that's NaCl, that is sodium chloride. But what about this Al2O3? So aluminium oxide, it is also a compound, and we in this case also you can observe aluminium, it's a metal, and metals are kept at the left side, whereas oxygen is a non-metal and it is placed in the right side. So we have followed, but what about this 2 and 3? What does this indicate? It's nothing but the valency. So what are these? Valency. So what is valency now? So valency is nothing but it's the combining capacity of an element. Combining capacity of an atom. So the valency is nothing but the combining capacity of an atom. You can see that. Any of the atom, different atoms possess different combining capacity. Okay, so it depends on their power. Power is nothing but the capacity. So aluminium has a capacity. The atoms of the aluminium has the capacity to combine with the oxygen. Okay, so furthermore, how these elements will combine and how can we describe the valency? We shall have a look at this.
We know that atoms of an element combine to form a compound. Every atom has a specific combining capacity. This combining capacity of an element is known as valency. For example, consider a water molecule. It has 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. This shows that the combining capacity of oxygen is 2 and takes 2 hydrogen atoms. Similarly, sodium monoxide has 2 atoms of sodium and 1 atom of oxygen. Thus, the combining capacity of sodium is 1 and oxygen is 2. If a compound is formed by 2 different elements, such compounds will be called as binary compounds. Some compounds have more than 2 elements or a group of elements as ions. For example, an OH ion. It consists of hydrogen and oxygen atom and its valency is 1. Here are the valencies of some elements. Chlorine has the valency 1. The valency of magnesium and calcium is 2. While nitrogen and aluminium is 3. Then that of carbon is 4. And nitrate ion and the ammonium ion shows the valency 1. Whereas carbonate and sulfate has the valency of 2. The knowledge of valency helps to write the formulae of the compounds. A formula is the shorthand representation of the compound. For example, consider a water molecule. it has hydrogen and oxygen. So the symbol of hydrogen is H and oxygen is O. And its formula is H2O. Let's learn to write the formula. To write the formula of compounds, we follow certain rules. That is, writing the formula of calcium carbonate, first and foremost, we have to identify the elements present in the compound. That is, calcium carbonate. In that, we can find calcium, carbon and oxygen. And next, identifying the cation and the anion. In calcium carbonate, calcium is the cation and carbonate is the anion. Next is identifying the valency of cation and anion and place it above the symbol. For example, the valency of calcium is 2 and carbonate is 2. And then crisscross the numbers and write the numbers as subscribes. Ca2 and CO3 twice. In case of calcium carbonate, both the valencies are 2, hence the formula is CaCO3. For compounds, the subscript of polyatomic molecule is represented in brackets before writing the numbers. For example, ammonium sulfate. It has both ammonia and sulfate ions, and the valency of ammonia ion is 1 and sulfate is 2. When we cross multiply, ammonium has a subscript 2 and sulfate has 4. And hence it's a NH4 twice SO4. But there is an exception for some of the elements which exhibits variable valencies and are represented accordingly. For example, copper shows 2 different valencies, 1 and 2. In such a case, the compound formed with lower valency is cuprous, and the compound is cuprous oxide, that is Cu2O. On the other hand, the compound with valency 2 forms cupric oxide, CuO. Similarly, iron also exhibits variable valency. Iron with the valency 2 is ferrous, whereas the iron with the valency 3 is ferric. So students, now you got to know how to write the chemical formula for the compounds. So today's class we shall end up this session here, and the further content will be continued in the next class. So go copy down all the notes and keep ready the notes for the correction. Thank you.